This segment of the news has been brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.
Welcome back. Another homicide on the books as of Sunday after a man was gunned down at a barber shop at the intersection of Blue Hill and Marshall Road. This latest homicide occurring 1 week after Prime Minister Philip Davis and high-level stakeholders held a conclave to address the recent spate of murders here in the capital. Here's Police Press Liaison Officer Superintendent Audley Peters with more details.
When a lone gunman walked in and discharged the firearm at him, the victim managed to walk down the steps and collapsed. EMS visited the scene and pronounced him lifeless. We're appealing to persons in this community who may have seen or heard what have happened and may have some information to contact their nearest police station or contact the criminal investigation at 502-9991 or 2.
Now, the victim is said to be in his mid-20s, but it is unknown if he was a resident of the area. Superintendent Peters renews the appeal to anyone aware of individuals with illegal firearms to report them to your nearest police station.
And I want to also encourage the public that the police are doing everything within its power, as we would have recently launched the Operation Ceasefire that has already reaped a significant amount of results, where we would have taken 150 rounds already off the street and 3 firearms. Persons were arrested and they will be brought before the court within the week following a thorough investigation. So we're encouraged with the reports we're receiving. We're acting on the information, and it's through partnership with the Bahamian people and capable guardians that we're going to take a hand on this criminal activity.
Investigation into this matter continues. Also weighing in on the matter this past Saturday during a sideline interview at the Bahamas Crisis Center Silent Witness exhibition opening at the mall at Marathon, State Minister for Social Service Lisa Raming told reporters all the blame can't be placed on the victim. Her comments were in response to those who suggested that the acting director of public prosecutions was victim blaming.
What I can say is that I don't entirely blame the child, and the reason for that is, yes, we may say that she's 14 years old and she may know the difference between right and wrong, but I would say that she was misguided, she was misled. She's still a minor, and it doesn't mean that minors cannot make good decisions. What I look at it is, if a child is placed in a vulnerable position, anything is likely to happen. Think of when adults are placed in vulnerable positions. They sometimes make irrational decisions. And so I looked at it as she was misguided.
Meanwhile, many have called for parents to be more involved in their children's lives and know what they are doing. And as a parent, Minister Raming says this.
Because I'm a parent, I put myself in a parent position. And sometimes you may say that the parent must have known, should have known. Sometimes parents don't. They don't. Because we all think of our kids as being innocent. We all think that we have done all we can and we know they're not going to do the wrong thing. But when we entrust them in the hands of persons that we think will guide them and do the right thing, think of having somebody that you trust. It's like a father. You're not going to think negative to say that this is what the father is going to do. And so I don't entirely blame the mom. I don't.
State Minister for Public Service Pia Glover-Roll was asked her thoughts on her cabinet colleague, National Security Minister Wayne Munro's comments. She says she thinks the comments came from a place of being a lawyer.
I think my colleague made a statement from a place of being an attorney. So I can make a statement from the place of being a mother that understands, a mother of 3 daughters that understands that every day, I'm concerned about the safety of my children and their peers, of women, of people in our society. I can make a statement as a member of parliament. As a member of parliament and a representative for Golden Gates, the constituents of my constituency are very discontent of what is happening. They did not like what transpired, and they did not like the ultimate ruling. I speak for them when I get up in the House of Assembly, and so they're discontent. I can also speak as a policymaker and say that with a seat at the table, I must ensure, along with my colleagues, like Mr. Monroe, that we are using this information, using what we hear that is being said by the stakeholders, which are our citizens.
Minister Raming was also asked about Minister Monroe's comments. However, she chose not to directly respond to the minister's comments. Some 39 doctors graduated on Sunday from the University of the West Indies School of Clinical Medicine and Research Postgraduate Doctor of Medicine program. Prime Minister Philip Davis, in delivering brief remarks to the graduates, praised healthcare workers for their work through the COVID-19 pandemic, while also highlighting that dealing with issues faced in the country's healthcare system is one of the top priorities of his government.
When my administration first took office, one of the first things we did, and I caused to happen, was a visit of various hospitals, and in addition, caused the Minister of Health and Wellness to visit clinics throughout the country to get a sense of just how much work we needed to do. This included conversations with our medical professionals who had spent the year prior taking on the worst healthcare challenge that the world had ever faced. It is no exaggeration to say that we would have fared much worse as a country during the global pandemic if not for the sacrifices of our medical professionals and frontline workers who risk their own health and well-being for the sake of others.
Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Michael Darville also praising the doctors for their hard work. He encouraged them to remain enthusiastic, optimistic, and dedicated to improving the country's healthcare system.
We at the Ministry of Health and Wellness can see clearly the need we currently face and begin to focus on essential healthcare upgrades, improvement in healthcare delivery systems, and the vital role healthcare professionals must play as we strive to rebuild and improve the medical services across the country. Today more than ever, there's a pressing need to ensure that our medical facilities have a cadre of well-trained doctors, specialists, nurses, and other healthcare professionals. I am very pleased to see the amount of graduates here today, and the University of the West Indies continue to play an important role in helping us in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas to meet those needs through high-quality medical training.
The UE program first started back in 1997, and as of January this year, a total of 127 certified specialists have graduated, with 91% of them being Bahamians. The program offers 7 specialty areas, including family medicine, general surgery, psychiatry, OBGYN, internal medicine, pediatrics, and emergency medicine. That said, Dr. Darville also announced that Dr. Robin Roberts will be leaving the program in July of this year. He thanked Dr. Roberts for his services as the program director. The Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture officially launched preparations for the 6th Bahamas Games, also known as the Bahamas Golden Jubilee Games, slated for next year, just in time for the country's 50th independence celebrations. On hand at the press conference at the National Stadium on Monday was Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture, Mario Boleg.
It has always been the ambition of my ministry to positively impact the lives of Bahamians, whether through youthful activities, sports, and cultural development. The Bahamas Games, unique in its form, will continue to bridge the gap, showcasing the world-class talent that exists especially in our family islands. As was the case in the 5 previous versions of the Games, partnering with the local media is paramount. I look forward to the upbuilding upon the relationship established in the past so we can continue to highlight and promote this national endeavor.
The first official games were held in 1989, then again in 1991. According to the Bahamas Games chairman, Martin Lundy, it was then decided that the games would take place every 3 years. However, due to a series of hurricanes in the following years, the games were placed on the back burner. That said, the last Bahamas Games took place in 2001. The 2001 Games had an approved budget of $1,964,000. Government seed funding amounting to $750,000 and revenue amounted to $464,000. According to Minister Boleg, the budget for this year is set at roughly $4 million. The minister also invited corporate sponsors across the country to join the movement, as he says the success of the Games can only be achieved if it's done on a national level. During the height of the COVID-19 pandemic here in country, with emergency orders and subsequent shutdowns, there have been some businesses that have been able to thrive, some have survived, while many, perhaps already on the brink, were forced to close their doors. And a company like the Blue Lagoon Island that depends on tourists perhaps falls in the middle of the pack. JCN's news team recently spoke with Public Relations Manager Jessica Robertson and asked how Blue Lagoon survived the pandemic.
You know, luckily it's a strong company, and so we were able to survive the lockdowns and everything. There's, of course, a company like Blue Lagoon, there's a lot that had to keep going. There were a lot of animals that had to be fed and people. And so we were very fortunate that we were in a position that we were able to pull through.
Now that the country's economy is beginning to return to normal, although COVID is still a factor, our news team also asks if the Blue Lagoon Island has felt the impact of the return of the cruise ship industry in particular.
Now with the resumption of cruise business in particular, we are so busy. It's great to have so many visitors coming back to the Bahamas, so many of them choosing Blue Lagoon Island to come over. It's nice to finally be back in this place that we were at. Well, we're not quite where we were at before the pandemic started, but we're getting there, and all of our staff is excited to be back and welcoming guests and showing off what we have here in this beautiful country of ours.
As for the tourism industry and the wider Bahamian economy, the government has expressed confidence in stabilizing the economy and fostering an environment for growth. Well, that does it for news this evening. Once again, I'm Tyler Simonet. Have a good evening, everyone.
This segment of the news has been brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.